everyone. I just want to thank you all for joining us today. I hope everyone's having a great day. But thanks for attending the first ever DePaul Activities Board Skill Builder Series event. Dad was fortunate enough to partner with HPW to help make this virtual event possible. So shout out to HPW for allowing us to partner with them and making it possible. We just wanted to have this event in order to create a positive experience for students during these unprecedented times. So thanks for joining us today. And yeah, we're on Facebook Live right now. I just want to start off by doing a quick activity to get started. So if you are able to, if you could get something, like find something you're passionate about, or if you'd like to talk about something you're passionate about. But I can start if anyone else would like to begin. So something I'm passionate about. So I have my Beats headphones. So I use these for working out. And especially since I'm kind of like cooped up in my home right now, I use these to work out and go for runs outside, and work out in my basement as well. Yeah. But yeah, if anyone else would like to share either something they're passionate about or something they've been doing during these times to stay busy.
I actually have this right on hand. I've been working on a project today. So I have this framed DePaul fight song actually. And it's something, I think it shows my passion because I get to work for the school and I'm finishing up my graduate program. So whenever I look at this, I think of like excitement. I think of like community and like our togetherness. I think back to Blue Demon Week. And so it like symbolizes like happy memories and like exciting times, but also the work that I get to do like every day, even in this virtual space. So this is mine.
Awesome.
I'd like to share something. I paused my video to run over to my shoe rack and grab a pair of shoes. I'm super passionate about shoes, and I just bought a new pair, and they're coming in today. And I think it's good to kind of think about things to look forward to in this situation, since we're all cooped up. It's very important to kind of incorporate things that once we do break out from this crisis to look forward to and get excited about. So yeah, I'm super passionate about shoes, but I'm excited to wear the new one I have coming in. So little show and tell, I like it.
Awesome.
I've got, because I'm still on campus, I'm in one of the dorms, so I'm sitting next to my refrigerator. I've been cooking a lot, which is super fun. So I made meatballs in bulk and I keep them in my freezer. So I have about 20 meatballs just ready to go for a meal at any given moment. That I just needed to defrost and cook. But I've been having a ton of fun. I've been making lots of bratwursts, and I made green chili mac and cheese for lunch today. So I've been focusing on the stuff that I can do to keep myself happy and healthy.
Cool. Yeah, if anyone else would like to share, or we can go ahead and get started with the HPW, either way.
I'm pretty passionate about my DePaul community, and so I have Dibs here, and Dibs is always with me in my virtual space. So he sits on this couch that I sit in, that's my virtual office, and he like never moves. So he's so adorable, isn't he? Precious is like, I can't believe that.
And it's true, I can attest, Dibs is often in the video calls with Rigo and I.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, well, we can turn over the table to HPW. They're going to lead us through a presentation, so that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, guys, for having us be a part of this inaugural series. It's always great to collaborate with other campus partners. And today, hopefully, we can try to inform and educate you guys in a couple things that might be helpful in terms of coping with the situation that we're all going through right now. So I'm going to share my screen real quick and get started. Can you guys all see our slides? Perfect.
Yep.
So Like Josh mentioned, we're from the Office of Health Promotion and Wellness. We'll do a quick intro. So I am Josi. I'm a graduate student intern at the Office of Health Promotion and Wellness. And then I'm joined by one of our health educators.
Yeah, I'm Natalie. I'm a peer health educator, and I also work with OC.
Yeah, Natalie is part of the HEAT team on campus, so the Health Education Action Team, where they basically go out and give a lot of different workshops, programs on a plethora of health topics. I'm really just trying to promote healthy choices throughout the DePaul community, and that's what we're going to try to do here today. So, real quick, I just kind of want to have a space to kind of reflect on coping with the new normal now in the situation, what that might look like in terms of strategies that we might use, and going through kind of the early literature, there have been some really interesting kind of creative ways of kind of approaching COVID. And I don't remember the author's name, but they came up with this acronym. And we're going to kind of go and digest the acronym and see how we all together can face COVID. So starting off with the letter F. So F is for focusing on what is in your control. This is a big one because obviously we don't have the control of what's going on in the world in terms of the spread of COVID, or the regions impacting and the stay-at-home orders. That's all out of our control. But it's really important for us to kind of internalize our locus of control in terms of what we can facilitate in our day-to-day. So kind of being mindful of our situations that we are present in, controlling things like our perspective, our outlook, and our attitudes. Now, this obviously isn't easy, but taking those initial steps to kind of be able to rein in on our emotions and feelings is a great start into kind of regaining that control in a situation that we kind of feel helpless. So then the next one is A. So A is for acknowledging your thoughts and feelings. So as I mentioned before, kind of, a situation like this can spur a lot of fear or perceptions of hopelessness. But it's okay to kind of acknowledge those feelings and kind of be compassionate about why we're feeling that way. It's very easy for us to kind of judge ourselves in this situation as well. I know for a fact myself, I've found myself sometimes kind of being hard on myself in terms of not being as productive as I used to be, not maybe turning in as quality of work as a schoolwork as I have in the past. But it's important to kind of reflect back and validate our own feelings, and being kind of generous in that regard, and understanding that this is a hard time for us and for everyone. So it's another important step to acknowledge those feelings and validate them. Moving into the letter C. C is for coming back to your body. So this is kind of based on more of the technical things that you can do in terms of grounding techniques, meditation, or breathing, because it's always important for us to kind of regulate again our thoughts and feelings, and kind of have things that we can do to refocus ourselves, reground ourselves, kind of help us get back into our window of tolerance. So at HPW, we love to promote a lot of different techniques, like I mentioned. Now, it's very important to also kind of be mindful of what works best for you. I know for a lot of people, meditation isn't the easiest thing to pick up and do, but really the point here is finding what works best for you and helps you kind of regulate yourself back into a state of balance. For me, I would say definitely kind of just taking deep breaths. Breathing exercises is a really easy way to kind of just regulate your heart rate, bring you back to a more calm and neutral state. But yeah, for sure, just always kind of try to find those things that work best for you. And then finally, E is to engage in what you are doing. So I mentioned also too how, during this time, it's very easy to kind of lose focus, kind of lose motivation. because we're stuck in the house all day, or we're not able to connect with others. But it's important to kind of still give that effort and give that time to what we're doing in the moment. So really committing yourself to giving your best effort in the present time with whatever you're doing. One good way to do that is practicing gratitude. At HPW, we teach a lot about mindfulness and gratitude in terms of writing down the things that we're grateful for every day. So starting a gratitude journal is a good start. In the beginning, you might find yourself writing down really obvious things like I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my mom's home cooking, like really really basic things. But as the days go on, you will find yourself to be kind of writing down things, the little things, and that's the things that we can hold on in this moment, like sunlight, like Cindy mentioned, and then also flowers, petals, and the way the grass smells after you cut it. Really simple things that from a day to day we kind of don't really think about, but in a situation like now we can really turn back and really reflect on things like that we can be grateful for. So those are kind of that's kind of breaking down the acronym, and some steps that you guys can take to really try to um, normalize as much as we can a situation and kind of start to bring in a more routine and more positive perspective thinking into the situation. So then Natalie's going to kind of break down kind of more of the things to do, and she's going to start by breaking down the difference between passive and active self-care.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people have heard about the term self-care. Self-care is important really in any situation, but especially a situation like this where we're all kind of stuck inside, maybe we're lacking motivation. So there are actually two different types of self-care. There's passive and active self-care. So passive self-care, it serves as a way to distract from whatever might be bothering you. And I think the word distract kind of makes it seem like passive self-care is not as valuable as a form of self-care, but it actually can be very helpful. So passive self-care is really things like listening to music, maybe sleeping, watching some Netflix, just something maybe to keep your mind off of things before you're actually ready to confront the problem. And then active self-care is doing just that, actively working through the problem. So this could be things like journaling how you're feeling or helping yourself to find some solutions, maybe talking to someone that you trust about some sort of problem, or even just expressing how you're feeling using art such as painting or drawing or dance or music.
So now we're going to try to use this function that we've never used before. We're going to ask you guys a question through a poll, just to kind of gauge kind of what are things in terms of self-care and coping with stress that you guys kind of are looking for. So let me know if you guys are seeing this, and you go ahead, start voting. We can kind of see the results as they show up.
Okay. Hey, would you mind reading the choices out loud so that those that are joining us on Facebook Live can comment on the
Of
video?
course.
So the poll doesn't pop up on Facebook.
Of course, yeah. So the question we're initially asking is, what topics are you most interested in learning more about in terms of self-care? And the options are how to take care of my body, ways to manage schoolwork, how to cope with stress from COVID, and how to take care of others. So right now we have one vote for how to take care of others. These are probably going to be split in half kind of, but we have a vote for how to cope with stress from COVID. Definitely super significant at the moment. And I would definitely vote, if I could vote, I would say vote for how to care for my body, especially in this time in isolation. But we can see that it's kind of, across the board, leaning towards how to take care of others. So yeah, we just want to incorporate this poll to kind of, get your guys' ideas of what you're really struggling with and see if these next couple of things can kind of help you with that. So thank you all for participating. You can see the results here. Cool. now they
So
can break down.
yeah, when it comes to physical self-care ideas, this is a non-exhaustive list of all the things you could do. I'm sure we could spend a good hour just listing out all the different things you could do to physically take care of yourself. But some of the highlights here are things such as like exercise and spending time outside, maybe in the sun, to things like things that are more relaxing, like taking a warm shower or bath or having a spa night. And also, physical self care can also be with the space around you. So, for some people, it might be helpful to rearrange or redecorate your room. And then, of course, it's always good to do things like drinking water and creating and sticking to a regular sleep schedule.
Yeah, and the really takeaway here is really, like we mentioned before, is being intentional in trying to find out what works best for you. Self-care as a whole looks different for everyone. So it's really important to kind of, do some reflecting and researching, practicing what really works best for you. So moving into kind of our second topic that we kind of want to cover is how do we stay connected really when, we're so disconnected from each other? So I'm gonna open up another poll real quick. And this one is just going to be asking, with whom are we really looking to get better connected with? So the options are friends and family, significant others, our work colleagues, or any other kind of type of relationship. We've been kind of forced to find new ways, and kind of it may look different for depending on what kind of relationship we're looking to get connected with. So it looks like as they're coming in, people are voting for your friends and family, um, other relationships that might manifest, like maybe getting connected with group partners. I know it feels like it should be easier at this point, right? But it can still be a struggle to kind of get connected with our classmates. I'll let that go on for a little bit more. And I'd open this time too for any of our DAB members to kind of, give their input if they have any, or on the situation as well.
I know that I've been using Netflix Party a lot to watch movies and TV with friends, just to stay connected in a way that is more than just like texting or FaceTiming or calling. So we would do the things that we would normally do, like watch a movie together, using different online services and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the ones we're gonna talk about. There's a lot of really creative ways, companies and people are looking to kind of get connected in this kind of situation. So yeah, it's definitely a really big one and a really easy one to use. So yeah, it looks like we're again kind of split into between like family and any other dynamic of a relationship. So we'll get into kind of the ways that we've preliminary found. Um, so yeah, like Connor mentioned, watching movies or having Netflix viewing parties is a great way that you can kind of still stay engaged together in a way, watch the same movie in synchronized fashion. It's really cool. Another one, pretty fun idea that I've heard going around is virtual runways. So this one, I think I might have to try just because I've been buying so many clothes in like, kind of engaging in retail therapy, but I can't go out and wear any of it really. Like I'm not gonna go to, Whole Foods and flex an outfit, but if I have friends, we can all set up a virtual runway and we can all show kind of our new pieces, kind of have fun with it. So that's a really interesting idea that I've come across. Another one is, virtual book clubs, practicing self-care together and kind of, a passive coping mechanism and sharing, if you really love to read, sharing that with other people. And another point too is kind of setting these kind of in a routine fashion. So if you and your best friend or you and your significant other might have had a certain time that you guys would always go on at lunch together, or you'd always share dinner at that time. I definitely encourage to kind of set up those kind of stay true to those times, but share it together through Zoom now. If you guys used to go, at 2 p.m. to eat together for lunch, set up that same time and share the lunch together. This can be a great way of like really inserting things into your schedule that help you kind of maintain that motivation, that energy to get through our days that are now significantly longer. So really being intentional and kind of setting up those kind of those events. Another one is kind of taking it back to sending letters. It could be exciting just to get something through the mail now. I can attest to that when buying stuff, but also getting letters in the mail and kind of really just going back to kind of that original way of communication in a such a technology advanced society that could be quite refreshing. And then finally, helping with schoolwork, kind of, if you and your friends would always, spend certain time or even at night at the library at DePaul, kind of still maintaining to that group and kind of setting up, study groups via Zoom. These are all ways that we can try to keep connected with a different, amount of our relationships. Yeah, I hope you guys kind of try those out and feel free to let us know how that works. So overall, we also wanted to just, highlight the other support services at DePaul since we have so many great, departments and offices. Definitely our office continues to do a lot of different programming and workshops relating to how to promote our health and our overall well-being. Right now we have our own series that we're doing every Wednesdays called Wellness Wednesdays, and these cover, a different amount of topics pertaining to our health. Last week or yesterday, yeah, we did healthy relationships. Next week we'll be doing body positivity. So we have a different number of topics that we can kind of all collaborate and engage in. Also, I would recommend checking out our Take Care DePaul blog, where we post all of our programming afterwards, and you can check that out kind of bi-weekly. And also incorporating the other offices that do great work on campus as well: University Counseling Services, Center for Student with Disabilities, and Dean of Students. So if you ever find yourself in need of additional support in definitely this difficult time, I tremendously encourage you all as students to take advantage of these great services that we have on campus. So this is where we would open up for questions, any comments, responses to anything we shared. We'd love to hear from you guys or from the students watching on our Facebook.
I have a quick question. So I advise DePaul Activity Sports. I'm not a student myself, but I'm curious to know what kind of support students need right now, specifically with classes and academic work.
Yeah, so I guess from the best perspective I can give you as a student would just be kind of, I've been hearing kind of the struggle to kind of get to doing work, or kind of being consistent in our times that we do work. So I would attribute that to two things. I would attribute that to kind of finding the motivation or kind of finding a structure in terms of scheduling when you decide to kind of do work, when you're most productive at. But also from a more health and wellness aspect is our sleep. So I find myself that like when I go to sleep irregularly, I don't have as much energy in the morning. In the morning time is kind of when I used to be able to like do work, prep myself for the day in terms of schoolwork and, so our sleep is a very important factor too. So we definitely recommend trying to adhere to a sleep schedule, waking up and going to sleep at the same time. That way that we have, the energy to even try to get up and do homework. But yeah, that was, I think, one struggle that talking to other students, in other programs, kind of finding that like intentionality and like getting up and doing work. Definitely in a digitized society, now it's hard to kind of hold yourself accountable to checking your D2L page every day. Naturally, I'm speaking for myself, a student who might do that like once a week. So trying to be intentional in doing that for sure. Natalie, feel free to add anything else.
Yeah, so just going off of what you said, we actually have a couple really great blog posts if you want to read more about what Josie was describing. We have at least one post on sleep and another post on the more executive functioning struggles that students have been dealing with. So we do definitely try to go very in depth with that, and I think Josie did a great job of summing that all up.
Yeah, and then that reminds me too, on our website, we also have a resource guide on how to be a successful online student. So I would definitely check that out. Also, I'm pretty sure it's on our blog. There's a lot of great literature coming out on how to kind of be the most productive, most effective. So I definitely encourage students to check that out as well.
I had a question. Um, do you have any like ideas of ways that like to stay motivated this time during this time?
Yeah, so motivation is a really big struggle for a lot of us. I think um kind of going back to our acronym kind of on how to face COVID or how to face really any struggle is really trying to adhere to kind of what's in your control, because it's easy to get discouraged and feel dismotivated when we kind of look at things from what's going on in the world right now and like what's the point, kind of that kind of thought processing that's going on a lot. Definitely encourage people to kind of internalize all those feelings and kind of flesh them out and kind of really focus on what's important to you. What are your goals? What are things that you can improve on right now? And that way you can start really building on personal goals. Not inherently, I feel like, boost up motivation when you're working towards improving yourself, um but also, like, I guess, like, harping on it again is really setting yourself up to be able to feel motivated in terms of our healthy decisions and our choices. So really, encouraging, you know getting the appropriate sleep, engaging in any form of physical activity. And if it's walking around, that's a great way to kind of also reflect on kind of what we mentioned, being grateful, grateful for fresh air, but also you're getting your body moving and you're activating that stimulation to really tell your body like it's time to get up and work. All those are really, really easy things that you can do yourselves. You have the power and the control over those things. So really just practicing kind of all those strategies that inherently lead to self-improvement and motivation.
Yeah, some of the examples on like what to do, kind of like for fun and like to stay connected. I found that a lot of them do require like screen time, and so like I mean that naturally is the life that we're currently in, and so I find myself, and maybe this is less of a question and more of like an observation. I find myself getting really oversaturated with the amount of time I'm in front of a screen. So if the option is to like watch a show on my computer with like a friend, I might opt out of that. And so, thinking about that, because I'm tired of like watching the laptop or whatever, do you have any recommendations? I know the packages like sending mail, but maybe anything else that might be more feasible for people to shift their energy and their attention to, but still stay like engaged and connected.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, definitely it's difficult, where we try to like stay away from screen time and like the idea and concept of blue light affecting kind of our biological processes as well. um but also kind of being mindful of how can we stay connected without kind of contributing to that, is a great observation. And I mean, I would just say it's definitely hard to maybe do that with people that are like regionally far away from you. But I would encourage, maybe if you're with your either roommates or your immediate family, also it's a great time to kind of get more connected with them. So engaging, like whether it's like family game night or going on walks together or with your roommates, kind of like it was one of my friends' birthday, and all her roommates kind of threw a party with just them, but kind of just engaging and putting that effort to get connected with those, I guess, in our immediate circle. But yeah, we'll definitely kind of do a little bit more research on how we can do that without contributing to screen time. I think that's a great point. But obviously, it's kind of difficult now in the current circumstances we have. But I would also say that I definitely encourage limiting screen time where we can. So definitely, incorporating breaks, incorporating sorry, looks like my screen went away. Incorporating breaks in between our studying. Also, we can control if we're on our phone before we go to bed. So putting that away, helping us, lessen that screen time overall.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go back real quick to the.
Sorry, I took it off because I thought I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. I just have like one more thing to.
Okay.
The thing with this is like there's so many windows now. I have like 6 windows open every day. Can you guys see that? Perfect. So yeah, like we mentioned, we really appreciate you guys for having us over today and really kind of engaging in kind of that conversation. It might be the first time for others. It might be, an overview for others as well, but it's important to have these conversations. So we definitely encourage you to connect with us, check out our workshops and some of our other programming.
The screen is showing up black for me.
Oh, black. Oh, it's paused. Sorry. Can you see it now? Oh, wait.
You may have to change the screen that is being shared. That might be what's going on.
Like when you hit share screen, like you pick like which box, like which window. There we go.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, it
Perfect.
said I had to bring it to
Cool.
the front. I don't know what the front is.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely encourage you guys to connect with us. Check out our Instagram. And also, if you guys need to, as students, any additional support, our professional staff members are available for one-on-one sessions via Zoom. So I definitely encourage you, if you have any questions or if you're struggling with anything really, they're a great resource to kind of use. They're cross-trained in a lot of different topics. So don't feel like you have to find a certain niche. We can help you with anything really. So just feel free to email us at hpw@depaul.edu with any questions. And overall, we just want to keep spreading this message of take care, DePaul.
Awesome. Well, I just want to thank Josie and Natalie, our guests from HPW, for partnering with us today. We appreciate all that you guys do, and we look forward to partnering with you guys in the future. So thank you again.
Thank you.
You guys too. Keep up the great work. I know you guys are putting on a bunch of really fun, great events. So I definitely appreciate that too.
And I do want to invite our Facebook viewers, if you are watching the stream, it's not live and you're watching it at a later time, definitely, share things that you're doing with your friends, family, or people that are long distance, to stay connected, things that you're doing for yourself to provide some structure, some motivation. Share those in the comments, have conversations with each other. This is another platform, another space for us to connect with people that we maybe would run into on campus, but we're not getting that chance to right now. So definitely take up every opportunity and continue to join DAB. At our events, we will be hosting more trivias. We'll have TikTok Festival being voted on in a few days. So definitely stay tuned. Thank you for joining us.